I know that the piece just dropped, this whole thing, Tyler Robinson's friends now coming forward. And if I could just get your reaction, I know you've covered the case extensively, but just get your reaction to Tyler Robinson's friends now coming forward to say that, yes, he did, in fact, kill Charlie Kirk.
Well, to be honest with you, Jack, I'm surprised that it took this long. And I mean, you saw, I guess the piece was in the Washington Post. That was a little bit surprising to see, I guess. But I mean, the evidence is just stacking up against this clown, right? I mean, there have been a lot of people throwing out a bunch of other theories that don't seem to hold any water, such as like Egyptian stuff and planes that flew into Provo that have been going there for service since
And look,
1999.
like I get, obviously I have a lot of questions about this, and I want to know why this happened to my friend, and obviously everyone's security, your security, my security, others. You were just assaulted recently, is certainly called into question. But we have to follow the evidence, and we have to follow the facts where they lie. And this guy's own friends are now coming forward and are going to media outlets and other places who are doing, by the way, everything they can to spin the narrative to take politics out of it. See, that's what right. Washington Post is doing. They're trying to say, well, it wasn't really political. He was kind of a gamer. But if you read through, they cherry pick, and there's these little quotes where you say, well, every once in a while, yeah, he might mention that he wanted to assassinate right-wing politicians, but really it was video games he cared about. It's like, wait, what? Can we get a little more on that?
That's a hell of a thing to just pivot from, I guess. But you go back and think about what his mother had said at some point about him taking a hard left turn at some point politically and getting involved with all the trans stuff. And I mean, this article seems to play right into that, to be like, okay, yeah, he got this boyfriend they them thing, this trans Lance Twiggs person, and all of a sudden he became a radical leftist. So that totally lines up with the original story that we heard the family saying. And do we know where this Lance Twiggs person is anymore? Do we have an update on that?
What I would highlight, so here's the thing, right? The media is saying that they can't find Lance Twiggs. However, I have noticed that no one in law enforcement is saying that as well. And so I'm kind of putting two and two together on that and saying that, and because remember that Lance Twiggs, it was reported early on, was cooperating. And I would suspect that his cooperation is probably continuing, but they've got him in, probably like some kind of safe location, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's very possible. I think the public probably deserves to hear more about this character at some point in time. And at the latest, I would say we'll probably hear more about this at trial. I know it was reported last week that cameras were going to be allowed in the courtroom, but that was only for that specific hearing. I hope that there are going to be cameras allowed in the courtroom because, at the end of the day, I mean, this is such a high-profile case. It's so important to so many people, and I think the American people deserve to see each and every piece of evidence that's introduced in this case, and hopefully it'll put a lot of doubt to bed.
Well, no, I certainly agree with you on that, and looking at this, there was even there were times he was talking about the that he was talking about the shooting at long range. There were times that he was talking about even where was it? There was a line where he was even talking about Butler basically and saying that like, oh, those guys always miss. And basically bragging that he pretty much would have made the shot himself if he was the one who was there. So, again, he's just seemed fascinated with this type of thing. And as horrific as it is, it's still something that I think it's very strange that so many people in conservative media, not including yourself, obviously, have stopped talking about Tyler Robinson and they want to talk about anything else under the sun. And I'm still sitting there going, guys, there are leftists who are completely insane. And not only do they want to kill us, they have already started stacking bodies.